Lots to talk about this morning as Erik Ten Hag goes head-to-head with Cristiano Ronaldo. We've also got the latest with Yuri Tillemans, Milinkovic-Savic, Frankie De Jong, the midfield situation that's going on there, and also Manchester United's, continued frustration and rumours, well, not even rumours, stories coming out of Manchester United that they're actually looking at this transfer window as if it is similar to an Ed Woodward transfer window. So lots to talk about this morning. I've got a couple of clocks on my shoulder. The L is in there. One's for Tide time, one's for real time. So that's a bit of a hint about where Goldbridge is this week. But Goldbridge is here all week, don't worry. I might be taking a little bit of a break, but I'm still doing the streams. You know, we've got cover, but I'll still be here. So look, let's fly straight into this. Cristiano Ronaldo, I've got a chat here. Oi, shut up and close. I want to see my live chat. There we go. We've got a live chat going on as well. There we go. Muddit says new background. Well, temporary background. I might try a new one later. So let's start off. What did I tell you yesterday morning? United stand. We've been well briefed on a lot of things this summer. People don't like it. Let them burn. Let them burn, baby, burn. As Tina Turner once sang. Said it yesterday morning. Big meeting going to take place with Erik Ten Hag and Cristiano Ronaldo today. Said it would hit the UK press later yesterday, and it did. The core of that meeting will be exactly what I said yesterday. Welcome to Members Club, Joshua. The core of the meeting will be exactly what we said yesterday. It will be about 3 or 4 things. It will be about, why do you want to go to Atletico Madrid? They're not going to win the Champions League. They're not going to play football like us, and you're not going to win the league there. We're not going to win the Champions League because we're not in it. We're not going to win the league because we're not quite there, but we'll play better football. You'll score more goals, and it's better preparation for the World Cup. Ten Hag is basically there to persuade this player that he really wants to be part of his team. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo is in Manchester. It's not known whether he's training today. Hopefully we'll get some training pictures. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but he is in Manchester. There will be a meeting with Erik Ten Hag. And to be honest with you, this is the big news. Like, I know there's people out negative out there going, I don't want Ronaldo, I don't want Ronaldo, but the cold, harsh facts are we needed this meeting. I take this as a huge positive, and I'll tell you why I think it's a huge positive, because if he was still in Portugal, the meeting doesn't take place. The fact that he's in Manchester to talk to Erik Ten Hag is absolutely huge. I hope he's in training today. I hope he is in training today. There is a friendly against Wrexham tomorrow. We believe Christian Eriksen might take part in that. This is not for the first team. This is for people who need game time, so you might see a Tellez. You might see other people playing in it. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But look, I'm very, very, very happy to see Cristiano Ronaldo back in Manchester. And now, in all honesty, somebody just said it in the chat, does this mean he's going to stay? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't mean that at all. Cristiano Ronaldo, there are even rumours out there that Cristiano Ronaldo will sit down and say, I don't want to stay. I'll give the club the respect and the manager the respect they deserve. I don't want to stay. And he might sit down and say that. I'm not staying. But this is about Erik Ten Hag, and all he wanted, and everybody I've spoken to has said this, all Erik Ten Hag wants is to sit him down, and he is convinced, absolutely convinced, almost putting his reputation as Man United manager on the line early doors. He is convinced he can turn him around. So, look, I think he can. I've got total confidence in this man, and I find it quite funny, but it's all about opinion. I find it quite funny that blue skies, that means Ronaldo's staying. Blue skies outside, Ronaldo is staying. If it was raining, I'd have thought he was going. But I do think that Erik Ten Hag will get him to stay, because he's almost, as I say, staking his reputation on this. He's made such a big issue of wanting to work with Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo being the man that he wants to build his attack around. And look, I know there's fans out there who are just anti-Ronaldo. I was joking last night on Twitter. I'd had a few beers down by the sea, and I was saying, isn't it funny how people who don't like Ronaldo and De Gea like certain British players? It's just, you can read them like a book. They don't like Donny much either, and there's a real theme running there. But they're a minority. They're just a very vocal minority who believe that their farts don't smell. But even looking on social media last night, there's people saying, no, we need to get rid of Ronaldo. We need to get rid of Ronaldo. Well, we don't need to get rid of Ronaldo, because Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to get rid of Ronaldo. Erik Ten Hag wants to keep Ronaldo. So Erik Ten Hag should keep Ronaldo. And I think that, I'm a big fan of Anthony Martial, but Anthony Martial being moody because Ronaldo's here, I'm sorry, I couldn't give a toss. I really couldn't give a toss. And, anybody who's been watching this channel for a long time knows what I think about Anthony Martial. I really do like him. But do you think I care about Anthony Martial being upset about Ronaldo staying? I mean, what we're going to do, just never have a striker to not upset Anthony Martial. Ronaldo's better than Martial. I want them both to do well here. But I mean, we need more than Martial. And as I've said before, Martial's got a bit of an injury record. I mean, let's lose Ronaldo, keep Martial. He gets injured, he's out for 3 months, doesn't fancy it, and we're screwed. So I would be massively excited if Ronaldo stays. And I think over the next 24 hours, we're going to find out. Because if he gets back on a plane to go back to Portugal, if this is a fly-in visit, I mean, it really excites me. I don't know what anybody else is thinking about this, but it really excites me because if Cristiano Ronaldo gets back on a plane to go back to Portugal after talks with Ten Hag, that's it. Scooby don't. It's over. It's absolutely over. Now, if he stays and trains and starts preparing for the season, then this is really positive. So it's going to be really interesting what we get out of Manchester United over the next few hours and over the next 24 hours. Does he train? Do they have a meeting and have a little break? I mean, there's so many permutations. Ronaldo is staying because he's not vaxxed. That was from somebody there. Why does this keep coming up on here? I want to be able to read my chat, and this stupid thing keeps coming up. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen here. It might be that they have a meeting today and there's a bit of a cooling off period. His agent Mendes is pushing for a move. Of course he is, because a move is probably what Ronaldo wants, but I really do believe we're going to get somewhere with this, and I hope it's going to be something really, really positive. Ronaldo versus Ten Hag, and I don't think it's a battle to win. I don't think Ronaldo loses by staying at Manchester United. I want to make that very clear, and a couple of people have said that to me. It's not about Ronaldo losing. It's about Ronaldo being persuaded. So, look, if I said I'm not doing the United stand anymore, one or two of you might be, please stay, please stay. Most of you would be cheering and going, get rid of him, he's an idiot. But a few of you would try and make me stay. And it wouldn't be you're staying. It would be, what can you give me to persuade? And it could be a Ferrari, it could be Thursdays and Fridays off, it could be all sorts of things. So there has to be, and people don't like this, but there has to be a reason for Ronaldo to stay. And the reason you want to keep one of the best players in the world is going to be very interesting as to what he offers up. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that he's training right now, because Man United train at 9 o'clock. But if he's not training, I think there'll be a meeting and we will take it from there. But I'm looking forward to finding out what happens. Please smash a like on the video if you want Ronaldo to stay. We'll see what happens. But look, that's where we are with Ronaldo. I mean, I spoke about this mostly yesterday, as people know. So I'm pretty, relaxed about this. We were ahead of the game with what was going to be discussed, and I'd love to be ahead of the game as to what's going to happen. My hunch is he stays, because my confidence is in Erik Ten Hag. And I need to repeat this again. He said last week, Ronaldo's not for sale and I'm building my team around him. And as I've said so many times, if you think about yourself and your situation, tonight, what's in the fridge? Nothing. What's in the cupboard? A can of baked beans and some bread that's been open for 3 days. You're having beans on toast, aren't you? Let's be honest. But then suddenly somebody says, oh, I've got you a voucher for Just Eat. 50 quid. Treat yourself. Well, this is what Ronaldo is to Ten Hag. Just eat. It's really, really important to Ten Hag, and it's a treat, and it's an exciting one as well. So let's wait and see what happens. I just want to talk very quickly. There's a few transfer updates I want to bring you around Yuri Tielemans and Milinkovic-Savic, but I just want to talk about Frankie De Jong very, very quickly, because there was this tweet from Gary Neville yesterday saying that it's immoral what Barcelona are doing and that he should be getting his lawyers involved. They're signing players when they owe him money, deferred wages, as we know. Romano was on the show yesterday, very good interview with Beth. Loved it in Melbourne last week. Says Val, I'm from Sydney and it was worth every penny. Let's stay positive. Thanks, Val, for that. I feel that with Frankie De Jong, it's still the same story. He's adamant that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona, and his agent has told everybody that, and they're certainly not going to leave until they get the money that they're owed. So I just think with De Jong, it's almost like a daily occurrence here. But I just wanted to mention something about De Jong that I think is really important. We don't know the full story. I got sent a message last night from somebody I like, and they were saying, I've had enough of De Jong now. Get rid of it. Just pull out. I mean, he absolutely doesn't want to come to United. This is Di Maria all over. Do not sign Frankie De Jong. It's a waste of time. He doesn't want to be at the club. And why are we embarrassing ourselves when we could have gone and got Lamer, Sangari, Tillemans? There's so many midfielders we could have gone and got, and we've embarrassed themselves. And I think that a lot of people are probably quite right about that. But there is another side to this, which is, look, you might agree with people who say, let's not go for Frankie De Jong. He doesn't want to come to the club. It's bloody embarrassing. But there's also the other side of the coin, which is, well, what if Frankie De Jong does want to come to Manchester United, but he just wants to get his money out of Barcelona? So he's got to always be, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving, so that Barcelona know they've got to pay the money to make him go. That is the dilemma for me with Frankie De Jong, because what if he has had these chats with Ten Hag and he is going to come to United, but he's just digging his heels in because he wants Barcelona to pay the money that he's owed. So that could be a very, very relevant point, and I just think it's worth mentioning that so that we are not completely closing our minds off to Frankie De Jong. I know it's frustrating, and I know that's not what people want to hear, but it also could be really, really true. So we'll have to just wait and see. But what I do want to say is, I was speaking to somebody yesterday afternoon, walking along the beach on a phone call, and it was quite an interesting call, because what they were basically saying is that Manchester United are behind closed doors really, really frustrated. There's people in the club that are really frustrated. Now, I can't say what names are, and I can't say who they're frustrated with. I mean, unfortunately, this is going to have to be a 2+2 because it's good information. But there are people within that club who actually don't think this is a better summer than Woodward. Like, they're literally saying, like, people came out, people were down the pub, people were putting stories out. And look, Ed Woodward was very pissed off by what Richard Arnold said as well. Like, the Ed Woodward, maybe not Ed Woodward personally, but the Ed Woodward regime was really pissed off with what Richard Arnold said, because it was almost like taking the piss out of the previous regime. I think there was a line from Richard Arnold when he was down the pub, and someone in the chat might be able to correct me, where he said something like, does Frankie De Jong have a legal solution to this problem, says Mojo? Don't know, mate. Don't know. We'll come back to that in a minute. But I think Richard Arnold said something along the lines of, I'm not the one who's going to be, negotiating these transfers. And it was a little bit of a slide dig at Ed Woodward. Well, there's a bit of a slide dig coming back at the United at the moment, because there's people within that club who are openly frustrated and saying there is no difference to what we're doing in this summer transfer window for what we've been criticised in the past. And I think that's a very honest opinion. People don't realise that there are some fantastic people working at Manchester United. And United's negotiations get symbolised by one or two people, whether it's Ed Woodward or Matt Judge, whether it's Richard Arnold or John Murtagh. It's always one or two people that sort of symbolise what Man United is in the corridors of power. But actually, there's a lot of good people who work at Man United, whether it's social media, communications, catering, coaching. There are some really good people who really do care. And those people have got mouths, and those people talk. And this is why you find bits out. And at the end of the day, there is a general feeling within Manchester United amongst some staff that this summer transfer window is absolutely no better than what Ed Woodward has done over the last few years, and in fact, some ways is less organised. Now, whether the club can build on that, Manchester, I don't think Ronaldo came back with his family, Majek. I don't think so. But whether United can improve this summer transfer window and get where they need to be, it's not a good summer transfer window. And that's not just the fans thinking that, that's people within the club thinking that as well. And to hammer that home, the reason I was having this chat yesterday was because I was talking about whether we're going to make any signings this week, to which the answer was, who are we going to sign this week? Ajax do not want to sell Anthony, and that's not going to happen this week. De Jong is in America and is not going to come back from America this week. This week is about Ronaldo. That's what this week is. Even in the corridors of power at United, they're just saying this week's about Ronaldo. So we are a week and a half away from the start of the season. We have got no midfield. We have got no attackers depth, and we're trying to keep an attacker that was a player here last year. And that's where Manchester United's priorities are at the moment. As well as, can I just say as well as officially now announcing Lisandro Martinez, who they officially told us was going to sign for United 9 days ago. It was on a Sunday a week ago last Sunday. We still haven't officially shown Lisandro Martinez in a shirt with some quotes. That is how slow and protracted United are. So look, I'm encouraged by this Ronaldo chat. I still think we'll get De Jong one day. God knows what's happening with Anthony, but let's call a spade what it is in the sense of this summer transfer window has not been what we wanted it to be, and is actually, when you analyse it, not very good. And encouragingly or worryingly, people within the football club are saying the same thing. This transfer window is nowhere near what people thought it was going to be, and it's certainly nothing like what Richard Arnold said down that pub it was going to be. It's been a failure so far, and ultimately it probably is a failure, because even if we do get the players in, they're not going to be there for the opening games of the season. And some people think, well, we'll be all right against Brighton and Brentford, and maybe we will be, but if you don't sign De Jong until a couple of days before Liverpool, or Anthony, or whoever, they're not ready for Liverpool, are they? So I'm not even thinking about Brighton and Brentford now. I'm thinking we're not going to have our best team against Liverpool. We're not, because they're not going to be ready. We need to be backing Ronaldo as fans, says Adam Richards, and enjoying every minute he plays at our club. One day, all we will have is YouTube videos. Viva Ronaldo, says Adam. Well, I want to talk about Milinkovic-Savic and Tielemans now, but I have said this time and time again. I think that football is changing. I think football fandom is changing, and I'm sort of grabbing onto the past, like many fans, as long as I can, whereby, look, and I criticised Rooney at the end. Ronaldo doesn't do the Europa League, says Charlie. I criticised Ronaldo at the end. I did. Rooney at the end. I thought Rooney was a spent force. I thought the fire had gone out, and I think he needed to be sold. I don't think the fire's gone out with people like Ronaldo, and therefore, I love Rooney as a Man United player now. He's retired. You just focus on the good times. At the end, I wanted him to go. I just didn't think he was good enough. And it's the Gary Neville syndrome, isn't it? When you're not good enough anymore, you don't hang about. And I think Rooney probably hung about maybe a year or two too long. But you don't forget who your greats are. You don't disrespect who your greats are. And I think in the modern game, it's almost like you've always got to be in a battle. All I want is a squad of players that I trust. I don't trust a lot of these players, but I definitely don't want to get into Maguire versus Varane, or Shaw versus Malacia, or Bruno versus Eriksen, or Ronaldo against Martial. I don't want to get into them sort of vile, toxic debates that occur on social media. I'm more than happy to sit in a preview and say I want Ronaldo to start over Anthony Martial, but I don't want to start hating on Martial because of it. And I think this is what's happened this summer. We see it all the time. We saw it with De Gea on Sunday. It's sad because Player FC has started to take over football. We saw it with Mourinho as manager. Like, you had fans who started supporting Man United because they're Mourinho fans. And now, to a certain extent, we've got it with Ronaldo, we've got it with Martial, we've got it with other players as well. I think there are people who like certain Man United players because they feel sorry for them. If you think about someone like a McTominay or a Maguire or other players, you can't tell me you rate them as a footballer. Where's the evidence over the last 12 months? Surely to rate a footballer, there has to be evidence, recent evidence. I like Rashford, I like Martial, but there's not a lot of recent evidence. I'm sort of saying, well, I believe there is a player in there, but admittedly, they've not been very good. And I like Rashford and Martial, and yet I would admit over the last 12 months, they've been rubbish. I want them to do well, and I believe there's a player in there, but it's not based on any evidence at the moment. And yet you will get people who are in this like McTominay fan club or Maguire fan club or, I don't know, Bruno fan club. To be fair, I like Bruno, but I'm not in his bloody fan club. And it's just based on sympathy, I think. I don't like how people say they're crap, so I'm just going to get behind them. Do you think Ronaldo will be welcome back in the dressing room after basically saying, you lots of crap and I don't want to be here? I see lots of friction incoming, says Graham. What a great question by Graham. What an absolutely brilliant question. How does Ronaldo get welcomed back in the dressing room? We'll come back to that. Pogba's becoming more and more prone to injuries, says Joshua. Hey, look, I don't wish Pogba any bad news. I know a lot of people are finding it funny. Apparently, Pogba's got some sort of cyst on his knee and he's not going to be going on the tour. We're well shot at Paul Pogba, but not in a way where I'm laughing at injury. Look, I'm just not that person. I'm not vindictive. I'm not, I've got nothing against Paul Pogba. It was time to go. And if Juventus inherit the problems that we've had over the last 2 years, well, I won't be surprised, but it's not our problem. Come to Moran's Restaurant and Bar, Mark. Moran's Restaurant and Bar, says Alfie Wright. Let me know where it is. I don't know where it is. I've been down. I went to a pub yesterday. Martinez today or tomorrow, apparently, as per Mike Verway. Yeah, I think it will be, Stuart. Yeah. I want to come back to that question about the dressing room, but I just want to, it's a morning show. So let me talk to you about Milinkovic-Savic and Tielemans. So in relation to Milinkovic-Savic, there is absolutely no interest from Manchester United. There never has been any interest from Manchester United. It probably benefits some journalists to say that he's on a list. It probably benefits, it certainly benefits Lazio, Milinkovic-Savic and his agent that we are linked to him. But Man United do not want Milinkovic-Savic. We've never looked at Milinkovic-Savic, and we've never looked at Milinkovic-Savic for about 6 years. This is an example of a summer story where United get used, but we're not interested. Think about that right back who went to Marseille, Klaus. There's been a few this summer. We will always, as Manchester United, get linked to players we're not in for. Unfortunately, because we're so desperate for transfer news, we consume every story like it's true. We might not be in for that Benjamin Sesko. We just might not be, because United will be linked to hundreds of players every summer transfer window, and we're not in for them. Jamie says Denzel Dumfries. There's no news on it, but we are in for him, Jamie. He is a genuine target. But Milinkovic-Savic is just pure paper talk. And why? Why is it? Because, and we've got a good update on Tielemans, effectively, the reason we are being linked to Milinkovic-Savic is because Lazio want to sell him. Had Callum Best in there last week, says Alfie Wright. Right. I won't be there tonight, Alfie, but I might pop in this afternoon or tomorrow. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm off somewhere else tonight. But might pop in for a lunchtime one actually today. So effectively, I've lost my place. The reason we're being linked to Milinkovic-Savic is because Jose Mourinho wanted him 6 years ago. So straight away, you've got that. Man United were interested in him at some point in the last decade. You've then got Milinkovic-Savic wants to leave Lazio. He's been there for bloody years, and he's always been spoken about leaving, but it never happens. You've also got Lazio, who, if they're going to sell, want a good price. And you've got Man United, who everybody knows needs a midfielder. So basically what you do is you go, Man United want to sign Milinkovic-Savic, and they're willing to spend 60 million quid. People who are genuinely in for Milinkovic-Savic or thinking of going for Milinkovic-Savic think, shit, we better move quick because United are in for him, and you get a deal. That's what's going on here. We're not in for Milinkovic-Savic. It is basically just trying to generate interest. So, yeah, whether you want to sign him or not, that's not actually happening. So, yeah. I don't want it to happen either, because there's a very big difference between Milinkovic-Savic and Frankie De Jong. On Yuri Tielemans, the Leicester director of football or owner or somebody has come out and said that on Yuri Tielemans, there's been no genuine offers at the moment and there's been no firm interest, which is interesting, but it actually does fit in with what my theory is. Mark, are we going to get a right back and midfielder and winger? That is it. That's it. That right, says Jamie. Mate, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to get. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to get. We could do no more business. Like, this is Manchester United. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I've got no idea. I mean, I know Eric Ten Hag wants a meal. I don't even need to give you the positions. Eric Ten Hag wants to keep Ronaldo, sign Anthony, sign De Jong, and sign Dumfries. That's what he wants. And then his summer's complete. Whether United can do that, and I think that's very important as well. It's almost clippable content here. What Eric Ten Hag wants to do between now and the end of the transfer window is sign Frankie De Jong, keep Ronaldo, sign Anthony, get Dumfries, and sell a few players. If that happens, I think he'd sit there and go, I'll take that as my first summer window. Do you think United are going to do that? I think Chelsea would deliver that. I think Liverpool would deliver that. I think Man City would deliver that. I think Spurs would deliver that. I even think Arsenal would deliver that. Can United deliver Ronaldo staying, Frankie De Jong, Anthony, and Dumfries? I don't think it's too much to ask for a new manager. Do you think Ronaldo will get a bad reception at Old Trafford? We're going to talk about that in a minute, Michael. And also, hi Mark, never understand why you and a lot of people were so convinced we'd get De Jong because Barca are in a financial crisis and they agreed on a fee. We never didn't want the move. Was never on because De Jong didn't want the move. Tom, it's not even over, mate. It's not even over. I mean, this whole De Jong thing is not over. I'm very relaxed about De Jong because nothing, as soon as he got on the plane a week ago, I was like, well, that's the end of that. Nothing's happening with De Jong for 2 weeks. He's not back from America for another week. So he's not signing for United for at least another 10 days. It doesn't make any difference to me unless we get some big news that he's took a pay cut or he's going to Chelsea. This De Jong story is just going to run and run, which is why I was so frustrated when he got on the plane. Anti-Ronaldo squad ideology, trying to win a drag race. They'd be like, we don't need the Ferrari to win. Let's rather use the VW Beetle and expect to win, says Denver. Thanks for the super chats. So, Tielemans, no official offer, no genuine interest, according to Leicester. I personally think that's because Leicester are trying to build interest again. It's the same as what I've just said about Milinkovic-Savic and Lazio. Leicester need to sell Tielemans this summer, otherwise he's walking out the door for free. And Leicester would rather have 30 million now than nothing. So I do think that's a little bit of Leicester trying to force teams to come in. I think teams will come in. Remember we discussed this a couple of weeks ago. It might have even been on Matt's Football when we said, this feels to me with Tielemans that this will be a deal that gets done in late August. He'll start the season with Leicester. Teams will have a quick look at him and see what he's like. And then they'll swoop in towards the end of the transfer window, hoping to get a better deal out of Leicester. Because Leicester at the moment are probably saying they want 40 million. On August the 31st, it's the last day they get anything. And they may well come out and say, we'll take 25. And I think, you know, if you can save yourself 5-10 million, it's not ideal, but because you want them playing now, but I think that they will. If Ronaldo stays, the last thing we need is the fans booing him at the games like they did Maguire, says Prane. And hi, Mark. When is United planning to put a bid in for Anthony? Mohit, I'll talk about that as well. And hi, Mark. Can you call my mate Sack a Pratt? Says Alizan. Okay. So yeah, Tielemans, nothing going on at the moment, but I think that will happen later in August, and I still think he'll go to Arsenal. JP, thank you very much for the super chat there. So good question earlier. What happens with Ronaldo in the dressing room, and what happens with Ronaldo with the fans if he stays? So quick question to that is, has Ronaldo burnt his bridges with some of the players that they'll treat him badly? Absolutely not. I mean, I'll just give you some examples. Cristiano Ronaldo walks into the dressing room and Harry Maguire tries to tell him off. I'd just be like, shut up and sit down. Go and sit down with your relegation medals, mate. Jog on. Read my Wikipedia page. You'll be at it all day. Shut up. And I'm not just picking on Harry Maguire there. It could be Bruno. It could be Rashford. It could be Martial. It doesn't matter. Like, there is nothing a current United player can say to Ronaldo that's going to make him feel bad. He's just not. Any truth in Ronaldo coming back to say he wants to leave? A few journalists saying this is the actual reason for him coming back, says Mark Argent. Well, we'll find out. He could be coming back to do that. Of course he could. Who knows? Would Ronaldo want to leave if he was in the Champions League, and where do you think he'll go? Dylan, I still think Ronaldo would be very unhappy because a lot of Ronaldo's unhappiness is about lack of signings and lack of ambition, which is the same as you. So also in relation to Ronaldo, there's a lot of people in the dressing room who love him. A lot of the younger players, Alangas, Garnachos, they love Ronaldo. Bring Keane in to deal with McFred, says JP. Bruno loves Ronaldo. Delo loves Ronaldo. Fred loves Ronaldo. De Gea loves Ronaldo. Lindelof loves Ronaldo. These are all people that love him. I don't know what the relationship is between Rashford and Ronaldo. I don't know what it is between Sancho and Ronaldo. I don't know what it is between Maguire and Ronaldo. I think McTominay likes him. So there's a lot of people in that dressing room who like Ronaldo. And I certainly don't think we're going to be in a situation where if Ronaldo walks in the dressing room and someone takes a puff at him, nothing on Pavard, Philip. If Ronaldo walks in the dressing room and somebody says, what you've been doing, why do you want to leave? I'd say because of you. Anything else you want to say? Why do you want to leave because of me? Because you were shit last year. Like, you were absolutely shit. And the club have not replaced you and they've not bought other players. That's why I want to leave. Do you think last season was good enough? I don't think it was good enough. I think it's a bloody embarrassment. So that's why I want to leave. But I'm staying now because I've spoke to the manager and he's basically begged me to stay because I'm so important and we're going to try and sort things out. So get your bib on. We're going back to work. I mean, I don't get why he might not stay, but I don't think he needs to worry about the dressing room because basically he's the one who's trying to drive the standards within the football club. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. We didn't not qualify for the Champions League because of Cristiano Ronaldo. I understand why he's pissed off we're not in the Champions League. His performances last year, we should have been in the Champions League. If 4 or 5 other players had played at the level he had, we'd be in the Champions League. We're not in the Champions League because of everybody else. As for the fans with Ronaldo, what do we think the fans' reaction will be? Well, I don't know. Like, we've seen fans booing Pogba, Martial, Harry Maguire in the last 6 months. He might get people booing him. I think it'll be received a lot differently to the way Maguire was received, because I tell you what, there's a lot of United fans who will not appreciate Cristiano Ronaldo being booed. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but you won't get the whole stadium doing it. There is no way certain types of United fans are going to want Ronaldo to be booed. So I know, but what you'd probably get the media agreeing with that one, because he's not English. I don't think United fans would boo Ronaldo. I think deep down, United fans are frustrated with Ronaldo. They feel a bit let down because they don't want to lose him. And we're not going anywhere as fans, are we? That's the thing. We stay supporting the club. So when a player goes, the standards aren't good enough, I want to leave, we're like, oh God, please don't leave us. But deep down, we all know why he wants to leave, and we probably all agree with it. He wants to go because the club is run badly. He wants to go because the transfer window has been a shambles. He wants to go because he was let down last year when he worked his arse off. So I don't think there'll be a problem. The key is to get him to stay. Hi, Mark. Does the missus love the goat as well, says Ty. Mrs. Goldbridge doesn't really watch a lot of football, to be honest. She probably gets fed up of listening to me talk about it all the time. Mark, you should do Man United game on United stand with your wife one day. Is that okay, says Jamie. What's the obsession with my wife? Ronaldo has been booed before when he fouled Rooney, and he's come back from that, and he's also been booed by Madrid fans. He's got elite mentality, says Argent. You know what? I hate to say this, but if Ronaldo stays, it will be like a new signing, won't it? Because he's so important and he's so good, and he gives you everything. And look, even if he fell off by 10% because of his age, which I don't think will happen, he's still way better than everything that we've got. Ronaldo's coming back to say he wants to leave. Next few reports will be about United making arrangements for his departure. Watch, says Harris. Harris, that's just a pure prediction. Well done if you've predicted it right, but it is pure fiction and prediction. I've got no inside track on this. I knew the meeting was going to take place. And basically what you've got is two immovable objects coming head to head. You've got Ronaldo and what he wants, and you've got Ten Hag and what he wants. We know what Ten Hag wants. We know Ten Hag has said he's not for sale, and I'm building my team around him. And he just wants this meeting. We know that Ronaldo is not happy. And we know that George Mendes is trying to find a move. How they resolve this situation will be really interesting. My personal hunch is he stays because Ten Hag will get him to stay. And remember, there's a few things he can do. As I said yesterday, he can offer him the captaincy. He can say that, you're playing in a World Cup in December. I mean, it's really 15, 16 games before the World Cup. Do you want to be uprooting and going and playing for another club? Atletico Madrid, it's quite physical. It's slow. It's not as attractive and attacking. My fitness regime will get you a lot fitter than Diego Simeone's will. If we're not in the race for top four and we're having a bad season, I'll let you go in January. You can join a Champions League club then. There's loads of things we can do. It's not ideal for Cristiano Ronaldo to be moving ahead of the World Cup as well. And I think that's a big factor. And I just think Ten Hag's going to show here what a great negotiator he is. If De Jong stays at Barcelona due to La Liga rules, Barcelona will not be able to register players they have signed because of salary caps, says David. Mark, my friend, Hampton is a prat, says Maxim. Mark, do you think Ten Hag is getting annoyed with how this transfer window is going, says Dylan Hardman. And same issue at Juve. Ronaldo gets goals, team play worse. That's not what happened, Ross. Cheers. Chelsea told Napoli if Koulibaly don't sign, they walk away. He signs, says Bog. And Ronaldo not going, not vaccinated, and couldn't travel on tour from that as well. So look, we'll have to just wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? We've all got a theory. We've all got our own ideas. That's just the way it is. Ten Hag is not happy. Ten Hag is not happy with the summer transfer window so far. Far from it. But obviously has to put a smile on his face. And there are rumours that Ronaldo is actually in training at the moment, which would be great. For years, we have said if he's training, that's bigger than a meeting, because that means he's training. Doesn't mean he's not leaving. He was training with Juventus last year, but it means he's back to train. Robbo says, for years we've said we would love a manager, player or former to expose the club, and now we have a player doing it and people are crying about it. 100%, Robbo. I mean, I don't understand that anyway. I've always said that I'm behind Ronaldo for this, not because I agree with him wanting to leave, but because of the things that he's exposed, lack of signings, lack of ambition. These are things that needed to be exposed, and yet some people are like, I don't even understand the angle. I've got to say, I don't even understand the angle of hating on Ronaldo. Player of the year, performed last year, says he wants to leave because there's no ambition, and then you've got people going, I don't want him here anyway. And I'm like, have you got Glazer t-shirts or a tattoo on your arse? Like, what are you talking about? You're talking out of your arse. Like, what is bad about Ronaldo saying he wants to leave because the club is showing no ambition, when we're literally sitting in a transfer window where they're showing no ambition? We've got no midfielder brought in, we've got no backup forwards, and people actually think it's a good idea to say Ronaldo's can go. If he doesn't want to be here, he can go. No, he doesn't want to be here because we haven't bought a midfielder. We haven't bought an attacker. Ronaldo is actually looking at this and going, you know, Matic and Pogba are better than a lot of the players that we've got, and they've gone. Cavani's are better than a lot of these players, and he's gone. Like, 3 decent players have gone, and they've not been replaced in the attack and in the midfield. Like, okay, we've got Lissandro, we've got Malacia, and Eriksen's a decent player. But where's the specialist midfielders? Where's the specialist forward to lighten my load? Martial ain't Cavani. Can you do United career mode with Mrs. Goldbridge as RX? So look, interesting times. Let's wait and see what happens. But I'm encouraged. I'm excited about what happens with Ronaldo. Apparently, he might even be in training. So we'll see what happens with that. Smash a like on the video, everybody. I am still doing videos, so don't worry about that. I think people thought I wasn't going to be doing it, but I am. So make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 400K. We're getting really close now. Make sure you subscribe. It's going to be the week of Ronaldo. We're not going to sign De Jong. It's going to be the week of Ronaldo. Will Martinez and Eriksen be at training today, says Jay. I think Eriksen is. I think Martinez will get announced at some point today. So let's wait and see if we're right with that info as well. Take care, everybody. I'll speak to you all in a bit. We're back at 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock shows as normal. And if anything goes, we'll be live as well. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. Any chance of Ronaldo contract extension? Don't know. I can't give you the detail on Ronaldo. All I know is that this meeting was going to take place. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching. That's how you turn it off.